In the last couple of videos, we spoke about using Node in cluster mode to dramatically enhance the performance of concurrent heavy-duty lifting that our application might have to do. We're now going to talk very briefly about worker threads as well. We're only going to spend a very little bit on worker threads here just to give you a very quick example of how you might use them. The reason we're only going to spend a moment, just remember, worker threads are definitely still in the experimental stage, and so I'm really just showing you this just so you have some knowledge and just in case you're curious about how they're used at all. But in general, I highly recommend if your application needs to do some heavy lifting to make use of cluster mode. One other thing that I want to mention here is that I personally would probably not be using both these approaches inside of a single application unless I knew that I really had some very good reason for it. The use of worker threads uses that same thread pool that is managed by libuv for doing stuff like handling that hashing function. And so while using worker threads and getting direct access to that is definitely useful, at the end of the day, we're still being limited by the the amount of overall processing power of our CPU. So it's definitely nice to have around, but it's not like a amazing processing approach that's going to dramatically speed up your application more than what clustering mode can do. Okay, so with that in mind, let's take a look at a small little project that we're going to use to implement these threads inside of our application. I'm going to go over to npmjs.com and we're going to search for a very specific package. So we're going to look for Webworker-Threads. So this is the package that we're going to use to set up some worker threads inside of our application. The documentation has a little bit of information about what's going on here, but if you scroll down to like the introduction area, I'll be honest with you, a lot of this is going to be the same stuff that I just spent a lot of time telling you about anyways. So if you want to, certainly feel free to take a look at this. Otherwise, let's install the module and then we'll set this up in the next couple of videos. So I'm going to first flip back over to my terminal, and inside my project directory, we're just going to use the same index.js file as before. So I'm going to install that module that we just looked at with npm install --save webworker-threads, like so. So let's let this run and we will start working on the implementation in the next video.